hello everybody, and welcome to another exciting episode of Tall Man Moto. This week we're talking about 10 tips to consider when riding in the rain. Let's get into it. Alright, first and foremost, let's talk about gear. Make sure you're in proper riding gear. And by that, I mean good, waterproof, top to bottom, everything. You don't necessarily have to spend a ton of money to have good quality gear. My jacket and my pants are HWK brand. I got them off of Amazon for what, about $50 a piece. They've lasted me at least 2 years and they are still completely waterproof. I trust my dryness to them. Along with good jacket and pants, of course, goes, your extremities, gloves and boots. I ride year-round with a pair of TCX Baja boots. They're Gore-Tex line. They go up my shin. They're pretty dang comfy. I like them. And, they're waterproof, so that is importante. Then lastly are my gloves. They are Suomi brand gloves. I got them off of Amazon. They're not too expensive, but they seem to do the trick. I've got heated grips. I can sacrifice a little bit in warmth quality of gloves, so long as they remain waterproof. Secondly, speaking of, waterproof things and vision, let's talk a little bit for a second about the Wii Pro anti-fog insert. I got it off Amazon for $20. It goes into the front of the visor. It sort of acts as a pin lock visor. If you'll notice, I don't know if you can see it, but I've got a ton of nasty condensation going around the bottom of really the whole outside line of my visor, but it keeps it nice and clear. And the few times that it has fogged up, I crack the visor and it clears right up. Whereas I think at that point, once my visor's fogged, typically I'm just kind of SOL. It's just sort of a balancing game of death, really. Highly recommend the Wii Pro insert. I very much so make it a tip for riding in the rain type of thing. Let's talk a little bit about actually riding now. Number one, first and foremost, and this applies to everything else that we're going to talk about, slow down, bro. Just slow down, man. Slow down your braking, slow down your turning. Generally, just slow down. Things are a little more wet. They are a little more slippery. Take that into account. We'll talk about tires. They've got more grip than you think, but bro, just slow down, man. Next, following distance. Leave a little extra space. Things are slippery, you should be slowing down, and you should also account with that extra space for needing to brake, not only with following distance for braking, but consider the spray that's coming up from the tires on the bike in front of you. You're already dealing with enough with your visor. Don't add insult to injury by riding right in somebody else's tire spray. Leave a little extra distance so that you're not dealing with tire spray on top of, rain and everything else. So next one I want to talk about choosing your line. You want to try and choose one of these two tire tracks that the tires of the cars are going through. These tires are constantly trudging stuff up and they're acting kind of like a little squeegee on the road. There's going to be a lot less oil and crap in these tire lines versus right in the middle of the road. Right in the middle of the road is where all of that oil and garbage and crap collects, and it's going to be extra slick, and you do not want to ride in it. And next tip, while we're talking about tires, trust in your tires. Trust that those tires have grip, because they do. Science. It is raining out, things are a little more slippery, but your tires have a lot more grip than I would be willing to guess that you think they do. A lot of times people end up in accidents because they're not willing to brake because they don't trust that their tires won't slide. Trust in those tires. Use your brakes. Use your brakes smoothly, but use your brakes, trust your tires, and don't be afraid of tires and grip. Don't be afraid of, trust in your tires, know they have grip, and don't be afraid to use them when you need them. All right, next tip, this one's pretty simple. Stay away from paint as much as you can. It is slippery. Things like crosswalks, arrows, try to not stop on painted places. Also stay away from metal things like manhole covers, those big square electrical covers, construction plates, stuff like that. Smooth surfaces are a slippery surfaces in the rain. All right, let's talk about turns for a second because we're doing one. Lean your body off of the bike a little bit more when turning in the rain. This keeps the bike a little bit more upright, keeps a more planted contact point. There's less of a chance that the bike's leaned over and is going to end up slipping out from under you. Just lean that weight over. Speaking of leaning, and this one kind of takes a little bit of speed to be able to effectively make use of, If you got a not so clear visor, you got water all over it and you need to get the water off, you can just lean out and tilt your head a little bit and let the wind push the water off your visor. Final tip, this one's a biggie. Relax, man, just relax. Everything about riding in the rain is easier if you're not stressed out about it. Really, by relax here, we're talking about two things. We're talking about relaxing the body. Don't be tense. Consciously loosen up your shoulders from time to time. Make sure you're not death gripping the handlebars, because when your body is tight and you're really gripping and you're nervous and you're like, oh God, you're going to overcorrect when something goes wrong. Loosen your body up so those muscles aren't tight, so it's not a jerked reaction. I will consciously go through every 15-20 minutes and I'll just move the shoulders and move the arms, make sure I just, as much as I can, let go of the handlebars and reposition to a nice light hold. And also relax your mind, man. Just chill. Riding in the rain is scary when you're new to it, but you'll get used to it quick enough if it's something that you want to be doing. You just have to learn how to change your riding style. Don't stress out about it. Don't overthink everything. And just enjoy it. Honestly, riding in the rain is one of my favorite things about being on a motorcycle, because it's an extension of my favorite thing of being on a motorcycle. It's being connected to the elements. It's experiencing it. It's not just sitting in a little box and turning the heater on and being warm. I'm very much experiencing the weather around me when it's raining and I'm on a motorcycle. All right, so those are my 10 tips for wet weather riding, dealing with the rain. If you've got something I missed or something that you do in the rain that helps you get through it a little bit easier, drop it in the comments below. I'd like to take a quick second and thank everybody who has subscribed thus far. I've hit 100 subscribers. That's pretty exciting to me. So thank you all for being a part of it. I very much so enjoy riding. I enjoy video production stuff. This is a nice merging of the two. And it's cool to be able to entertain other people with it. So thank you so much for subscribing. If you haven't yet, please consider doing so. Also, don't forget to like the old video. And hey, we will see you all in the next one. Cue the outro. This is my outro song. Time to remember to like and subscribe. Ding that dong and follow along on my motorcycle adventures. Do 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 do.